Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and it is another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And this is Cosplay for Black History Month, and joining me on the first episode is the third Pharaoh. How you doing today, Pharaoh?
Good, man. You good?
Hey, I could be better. I'm a little bit under the weather right now, but you know your boy, when you're the number one hero, you got to push on through it. So thank you so much for joining me up here today.
Thanks.
So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into today's interview. Pharaoh, first thing I want to say is I love the Fat Gum. Fat Gum, he's one of my favorites on My Hero Academia right now. And yes. I think that it's a really cool addition to have to the interview. So it was good, Fat Gum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I saw him, I had to grab it, and he was the last one there.
Oh, nice, bro. Like did you get it at a con?
No, I got it from Hot Topic.
Oh, okay. Because, man, I learned my lesson. I was at Tidewater. No, I'm sorry. It was Superstar Anime here in Virginia. And because me and Pharaoh were both from Virginia, and there was this Jotaro figure that I wanted to get, and I was just like, nobody's gonna get him. And then before I left, I went back and both of them were gone. And I was just like, bro, come on, man. So I understand when it comes to, you know, snatching something when it's the last one. So something we do here on every episode is I ask everybody, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who the third Pharaoh is.
Well, the name, I got it from high school. I wore glasses back in the day, but in my senior year, I had contacts on, and I had my hair in a certain way, and a girl across me said, "You look like an Egyptian." I was like, "Thank you." And when I finally started, when I started up my Instagram account, I was like, "What kind of name could I get?" And I just thought about all the names I've been given over the years, and I was like, Egyptian, Pharaoh, number 3, and that's how Third Pharaoh began. But that's the name, not the cosplay guy. The cosplay guy is a whole different story.
All right, well, let's get to that. So, how did you start your journey into the world of cosplay?
So, I was aware of cosplay, but I immediately thought it would happen in places like San Diego, New York, LA. And nothing ever cool happens in Virginia. So
that's true.
So there's this library in my old neighborhood that I go practically religiously. And I go there and I see all these people dressed up. And I was like, what is going on? And I go into the library. They said they're having a mini con. I was like, they have cons here in Virginia? So, and I go to the library, I explore, and they happen to have this con in Virginia Beach called Tidewater Comic Con. And I was like, you know what, I'll check it out. And I dressed up as a casual Bishop from X-Men. I go there and I'm literally just blown away because of so many people who are like me. I thought I was alone in Virginia, like loving costumes, comic books, manga, whatever. I go into Tidewater, I see all these people in cosplay. I'm like, I'm not the last nerd. I'm not the only nerd here. So
I like that.
Yeah. And, after Tidewater, you've seen me around everywhere. It just blew up. And that was in 2016. 2016 was my very first con season. You've seen my follower count. You see me posting all this cosplay stuff. I'm fully encaptured by the art of cosplaying, and that art, the fascination with the cosplay, it turned into more than just a hobby. It's part of me now. Yeah. So and I fully commend everybody just showing up and leaving their house fully in costume. Now I can feel like I'm not by myself with this.
Yeah, man. And to piggyback off of that, it's interesting that you say that, when you were coming up, it's like you thought that you were the only nerd because, when going to school, I always say that there were a lot of undercover nerds because it's just like, because you see them now and it's just like, yo, like, why weren't you talking about this stuff with me back then, And it was cool to, finally, find cons here in Virginia because, like you said, it's like nothing really goes on here. But I am happy that the con scene it has come and grown because I know NecoCon had been around for many years, but back when I was younger, my mom, she wasn't gonna drop me off in Hampton across the water. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
of course I didn't, like, most of my friends didn't have cars, so there was no way to get out there for real, and I didn't know the right people to even go to NecoCon. But Tidewater Comic Con, there was a con out, another one out of Virginia Beach called BAM Toy and Video Game Con. That was my first con that I went to, like, back in 2016. So I get it, man. I want to say the first con that I had saw you at, I can't remember the name of it. I think it was like Firefest or something like that. It was in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And you were cosplaying as Doctor Strange. And, and for some years, like, whenever I would go to cons, like, I maybe hadn't seen you in any of the other costumes that you did, but I always saw your Doctor Strange. So is Doctor Strange, is he one of your favorite Marvel characters?
Oh, absolutely. Just design wise, he's different from everyone else. He doesn't wear body armor. He doesn't rely on technology, nor does anyone truly know him. He doesn't go out there. He's more of the background characters, but he's the important character.
Yeah.
And, I kind of relate to that on a certain level because, if you're in a group of 10 people, you're not going to be the top 3. And that's how I see myself in life and with Doctor Strange in the Marvel universe. But now people are starting to recognize him because of the movie Avengers and the recent Spider-Man movie. So now, to him being able to step out into the light, it kind of helps push me further into the light more than I'm already in.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, man. And I mean, originally, like how you were saying, he was just a background character, but he was an important character. He was somebody that you needed. He was the
guy you didn't know you needed till the end.
Exactly. And then now, because of his popularity and his growth in it, it's like everybody loves Doctor Strange. Like, I knew who Doctor Strange was because of Spider-Man the animated series. That was my first introduction to him. But it was like after that, it was just like, okay, yeah, he's just there. But then when you see him in Avengers and the Doctor Strange movie, he's just like, man, like, Doctor Strange, he's pretty cool. Like, same thing with like Captain America and Thor. Like, those characters growing up, I only really like Wolverine, Spider-Man, the X-Men. Those are my characters. Iron Man, I didn't like Captain America or Thor, but then the Marvel movies come out and it's just like, okay, I like these guys now. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you another cosplay question, because you have so many awesome costumes that you've done. What are some of your favorites?
Definitely in the top tier is my Steven Universe. He's one of those cosplays that, you can literally just throw on, but I relate to him so much. He's one of those characters that it doesn't matter how old you are, you relate to the characters, the show, the story. Steven, he's always himself. He's always putting a smile on everyone's face, tries to lift their spirits. And that's how I am throughout my entire life. Everybody outside and inside of cosplay can vouch for that. And of course, Nightcrawler, he is the guy. My favorite. The first time I saw Nightcrawler was obviously X-Men 2. The design, the actor, his accent, it was just so attractive to me. And when I decided to cosplay him, I was like, yo, how am I supposed to do this? And you've seen the Yoda hands, his 3-fingered hands. Before that, I had the standard suit that came with the gloves, and I just, did Spark hands constantly.
Yeah.
Then I had the idea of sport wrapping my fingers together. And a couple months later, I saw another cosplayer doing Nightcrawler, and I see his hands, and I had to know this guy instantly. I was like, hey, how do you do these hands? He's like, these are Yoda hands from Amazon. I was like,
it's just that simple.
I was like, how did I not think this? I love Star Wars. How did I not see? I don't even notice Yoda's hands. I just know he's short and green.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Yoda's hands.
So I go to Amazon, I see the hands, I'll get them. They come in, and I just instantly painted them, set them. And from then on, everybody was blown away by Nightcrawler, fully encapsulated. The face, the tail, the eyes, the hands, even the feet, which it just happens to be ninja tabi shoes, two-toed shoes that we use in samurai training.
Nice.
So ever since I got the hands, every time I've done Nightcrawler, everybody is just in shock and awe because one of their favorite X-Men characters is in real life, and he happens to have dreadlocks.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that I really think is awesome about the costumes that you do. It's like you incorporate your hair with them. I know that the Deku Spider-Man costume was just on the screen, but like that's one of my favorites that you've done because it's like you have the hood on, your hair is showing, and I just think it's cool that it's like you don't have to wear a wig or anything like that. You just incorporate something that comes from yourself into your costumes.
Yeah, it's not just that, it's just I have a lot of hair to be, and it's too much to bound down and put a wig over it.
Yeah.
Plus, I want to give that character a more natural feel.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what character I am, that character has dreadlocks, in my opinion, in my world.
Yeah, I love that. It's the same thing because when I had cosplayed Jotaro, and people was just saying Jotaro with a beard looks good, and I was just like, I'm like, what? I've never seen anybody that's cosplayed Jotaro that actually has a beard. Most people when they do costumes, like they'll have a clean shave or they'll wear a wig or something like that. So I want to ask you, like, what's your take on that? Like, do you think that like if you're supposed to cosplay a certain character, do you think that you should have a clean shave or wear a wig?
I'm not gonna lie, when I first started cosplaying, I thought the exact same thing. You can only cosplay characters that you look like. Mm-hmm. Like Bishop, everybody knows Bishop is black, dreadlocks, and has an M on his face. I don't have the M, but I do have all the other components, and I can easily pull them off. But when I got to at Tidewater, I see all these different people, men, women, black, white, big, skinny, cosplaying as many characters as they want. And I was like, okay, now I know the rules. You can do whatever you want in cosplay. So that's how everybody else in my arsenal just came to be. Like, I don't care if he's white, human, young, old. If I want to cosplay the character, I'll do my best to cosplay that character to the best of my ability and my opinion.
Yeah, and that's how cosplay should be. And I love that you said that because with being a cosplayer and a person of color, one of the things that you'll encounter by some people is that you shouldn't cosplay this character because, that character doesn't look like you, or you should cosplay, somebody that looks like you instead of cosplaying that character. And I always say F you to those people because, like you just said, it's supposed to be about fun. It's supposed to be about having a good time. And have you ever encountered anything like that in your cosplay career? And if you did, how did you handle that situation?
So it didn't really spike the level of racism in cosplay. It didn't spike it for me till I got TikTok, because TikTok, that's worldwide. Yeah. So when I started, doing these TikTok videos, everybody says, black dreadlock isn't black. Jiraiya is white. And when you see those comments, you just roll your head. But when it gets to that certain level, that's when you step in. And like you said, the way I handle it, before I report it, I like to call that guy out. Yeah. So, and I'm not sure if you've seen some of my TikToks, but sometimes if I get like one of those racist guys, I take a snapshot and I incorporate it in my TikToks. So when I say, hey guys, guess who I'm trying to put people on blast, and I show them the images and the screenshots, and the responses I get from those just blow up, because then they go back to those videos that had the comments and they just start attacking them. Yeah. And I was like, if you're gonna say something to me, you're gonna have to deal with everyone else behind me. So,
I like
you know, yeah. So support in the cosplay community is very strong. You know, everyone says I'm a trustworthy guy. I have such a welcoming aura that they instantly trust me and they instantly like me. So to have them having my back on this, I have nothing but love for everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, you know, because we have like the same, you know, mutuals, and, you know, from the stuff that they say about you, like you said, it's like they have nothing but support and love for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's messed up that people will come in the comments and say that stuff. But I think that it's even, you know, a bigger form of support when you have nothing but your friends and people that you don't even know just coming and just, you know, saying F you to those people, because at the end of the day, cosplay is supposed to be about having fun and meeting new friends and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of elitists out there who believe, you know, based on what you look like, you should do what that character looks like.
Yeah. It's just like, who are you?
you're not even a cosplayer. How can you have input in this?
Yeah, it's like, I'm just having fun. And I mean, like, that was one of my things about cosplaying is Deku and Jotaro, because, you know, I am plus size and I'm Black. So it was like, I'm waiting for somebody to say something. When I had posted my Jotaro and some of the JoJo groups, I had got nothing but love, you know. And I want to say it was probably about like 2 or 3 comments where somebody said something about my size or said Jotaro isn't Black. But to see how much the fandom attacked these people, I was just like, I go for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, we're all having fun here, and you shouldn't attack somebody just because of how they look, because nobody looks like the anime characters. It doesn't matter how hard they try to, you know, put on makeup or whatever wigs and stuff they do, like, they're not going to look like the character. So one thing I want to ask you, and this is another cosplay question, because, you know, you mentioned Steven, you mentioned Doctor Strange, and like how much these characters mean to you. It was one cosplay that you did, and I want to ask you, did that person mean a lot to you? And that was your Jigsaw cosplay. Who's that cosplayer?
Marmar does cosplay.
So he was, it was the end of 2018. It was December, and I was like, you know what? I only did like this number of new cosplays. I want to see how many more I can get into. So I was like thinking of all the characters that, you know, I can think of. I got Jigsaw, I got Sokka with the war paint. I think number 2 was in there too. And I was like, you know what? Let me just see if I can get there. And by the end of 2018, I had 19 new cosplays in that year. And I think I had like 7 in the last month of 2018. Yeah. And, you know, I have never got back to Jigsaw because everyone else came before it, took precedent. So I was like, you know, I'm going to leave him in the back burner. If I go to a horror con, I'll pull him out one day.
How did you see the Spyro movie that came out? Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, last year. I haven't seen it yet. I plan on seeing it soon.
Highly recommend it, man. I thought it was a really good take. I thought Chris Rock did a good job. And then you got Samuel L. Jackson. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
What better combination can you ask for? I know that some people weren't fans of it. And, you know, me, like, I'm not a diehard Saw fan, but I love the Saw franchise. And I thought that they did a really good job. You know, the same thing like with Candyman that came out. I thought Candyman was a really good movie, even though some people that were diehard fans. What was that?
Yeah, I think people were they constantly mix spin-offs with the source material too much. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like the latest Matrix movie. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best one, but it's still a good one. And I try to put my feelings towards the source to the side, because this is not just, you know, another sequel. It's kind of like a continuance.
Yeah.
Because this is taking place after the war.
Yeah.
So of course it's not going to be such and such violence, such and such martial arts. You have to look at it from the perspective of their world. Mm-hmm. This is after the war. This is where times are different. Everybody's older. Their skills are not what they used to be. So I constantly put my emotions to the side and see this as an individual rather than a whole. Individually, it could be better, but as a whole, it fits. As long as it fits, I'm good. That's why even after I saw it in theaters, I continue to watch it on HBO Max. And like I probably saw it 4 times already. Yeah, I haven't gotten bored of it yet.
I need to watch it again. I only watched it one time, but even after watching it that one time, like I thought the movie was a good movie. I didn't understand. I mean, again, I guess it's like the diehard fans and whatnot that don't like the direction that they're going in with it. But for what it was, I thought it was a good movie. You know, I'm not going to bash it. The only thing that sucks about it is that it was a flop in the box office. That's the only thing that sucks. And I don't know if they're going to continue the movie because I want to see what's going to happen next, especially with the way that it ends.
Oh, exactly. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. So now I want to ask you this, and this is, you know, moving away from the cosplay stuff. What are some of your hobbies that you're into when you're not cosplaying?
I mean, if I'm not in cosplay, I would still do some TikToks. But other than that, I try to dabble in some digital editing. I don't know if you see, like you have some slides where I'm in a different background. I did that myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm also trying to get back into music making. I won't get into that. I haven't touched it in like a couple of years. You know, other than cosplay, man, cosplay is probably my only hobby because I can get so much out of it.
Yeah.
It got so much fulfillment for me. Like that's enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, like with cosplay, you going to these cons, you're meeting new people, you're
traveling.
Yeah,
traveling. You can't beat that.
And especially too with you know, because of the pandemic and the cons starting to open up last year. I know NecoCon for a lot of people, it was like this one giant party because so many people hadn't seen their friends in such a long time. You know what I'm saying? So
most definitely, bro.
So I can definitely understand where you're coming from when you was just like, you know, cosplay is just one of my main hobbies that I love doing. I know that you had mentioned with your Nightcrawler cosplay, the shoes that you were wearing. You said that those were your sword fighting shoes?
Yes.
Okay, so
they're called.
No, go ahead.
They're called Tabi shoes, Tabi. I got those from Amazon. I'm trying to see if I can get some more in different color, my size, but apparently my foot size doesn't exist in Japan, so I'm still looking.
Now, but is that something that you do as well? Like, do you partake in sword?
Oh no, no. I just I wanted to, you know, make Nightcrawler as accurate as possible. You know, I already had the hands, the tails, the make up the eyes, the teeth. The only thing I was missing is shoes, and Nightcrawler didn't wear regular shoes. Yeah. So, you know, I just kept on looking two-toed shoes, and Tabi came up, and I was like, I've seen those shoes before. And, you know, so Tabi shoes have been, they're I won't lie, they're not the most comfortable, but if you find the right socks, they can be comfortable, more comfortable.
Hey. So, you know, something that I've been seeing in the background while I've been interviewing you, I see the Cowboy Bebop scroll on the wall. So you already know I'm going to ask you, how did you feel about the live action Cowboy Bebop?
I still have not seen it yet, but I love the fact that everybody's standing up for it. Yeah. Like it's not, I don't remember. I think everybody said it wasn't the best adaptation, but it was worth watching.
Yeah.
And so I still need to see that. I'm still trying to catch up on Witcher season 2. So hopefully I can start in Cowboy Bebop soon before they take it down.
I don't think they'll take it down. I don't think Netflix will take it down, but I mean, I do recommend it. I enjoyed it. It's just like The Matrix, where it's just like, you know, you have your diehard fans that are like, what is this? And then you have people who were fans of the series, of the anime series, who watched this and was just like, okay, like it's good for what it is. Because we interviewed Mason Alexander Park, and that interview, it is up here on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it, or if you want to listen to it on the podcast. They're an awesome person. And one thing that Mason had said was that, you know, if you want to watch something that's shot by shot the same thing as the anime, why don't you just go watch the anime? You know, with the Netflix series, they took stuff from the anime and then they added their own spin to it, and they expanded on certain elements of the anime. So I don't think that it's that bad of a series, but I can understand if you're a diehard fan who doesn't already like live action animes, then you're just gonna hate it. You know, I mean, everybody has their own opinion, but I don't think that you should, you know, trash the actors or you know, come at them, because it's not their fault if something isn't good, you know.
Yeah, and to me, that's the thing about, it's called adaptation.
Yeah,
it's adapted by the director's, the producer's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because if you look at it, if you have the live action and you make them do everything they did in the anime or the manga, it's not going to be believable.
Exactly.
So with not just story wise, but, you know, effects wise, visuals, the way the characters interact with each other. So, you know, and that's what everybody has a problem with when it comes to live adaptations of animes and mangas, because they're trying to make all this imagery from the source and bring it into real life. No one does that. No one has a giant sword that changes shape in real life. No one can shoot energy beams out of their hands. I mean, Dragon Ball is, we're not going to talk about that. But again, you have to see this. You have to see Cowboy Bebop, the live action, as an adaptation. You have to see it. You have to put your own personal feelings to the side and see it objectively, not subjectively. You got to see it for what it is, not from where it came from.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that.
So hopefully, when I do see it, I can put my personal feelings to the side and judge it for what it is.
Yeah, and see, and like that's the thing. I feel like when it comes to anything that's being adapted, you have to put your feelings to the side, because if you go into it with high expectations, then when you watch it, then you're going to be bummed out. And I learned that lesson, and I feel like, well, I can't say all anime fans, because it's like we're part of that generation that was actually around and old enough when Dragon Ball Evolution came out in theaters. So, you know, I feel like when that movie came out, I had high expectations. And then when I was watching it, I was just like, did I really rush to the theater to watch it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it comes to anime stuff that gets live adaptations, I don't have high expectations for it. So then that way, if it's bad, then it's like I won't feel any type of way. But if it's really good, like Alita Battle Angel, in my opinion, is one of the best live action live action anime movies that come out. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you?
I haven't seen Dragon Ball Evolution nor Avatar movie.
No, not Avatar. No, Alita Battle Angel.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I heard, you know, it was more 50-50, but I haven't seen it, but I do know the series. I love the series. So hopefully if I ever do see it, I can, again, I have the adaptation, not anime or the manga. So because this is every movie that has ever been made, they're trying to get to the perspective of real life. I mean, do you know anyone who's been built from scraps?
No.
Do you know anyone who came from space?
Yeah.
No one has. They're trying to put this in real life perspective. So, like you said, I don't set my standards high in anime-based movies. Mm-hmm. I try to be chill about it. I'm here. Let me see what it is. Until the credit end, that's when I can judge the movie.
I 100% agree with you on that. So, Pharaoh, I have one last question for you, then we can go and wrap this thing up. Because this is Black History Month, my final question for you is, who is one of your favorite Black heroes or villains in all of media and from nerd culture?
Oh, I mean, damn, that's a good one. Black heroes
or villains.
Or villains.
I don't really. Killmonger. But I mean, a lot of people.
I mean that he's for the next gen cosplayers or enthusiasts, because it just so happened recently. But if I have to choose one, I would probably go with Henry Irons, aka Steel from the Superman DC series. And here's why: this guy literally grew up in the streets.
Yeah.
He represents the common man. One time after Superman fight, he was inspired by this guy to not only live up to his standards, but live up to the hopes and expectations of the common man. And, you know, Steel rarely ever goes outside of his lane or his neighborhood, but he still fights for the common guy. He fights for the everyday man, you know, the guy who works 2 jobs, the mother who's single mothers, you know. And I feel like we need more heroes that are local, not galaxy wide.
Yeah. I really love that answer. And you know, when I think about it, in a way, Steel is the Luke Cage of the DC.
Of DC.
Yeah, I never even thought about it like that until you started talking about him. And another reason why I like the fact that you just brought up Steel is because when I was getting my pictures for your slideshow, I had saw that you had made a post about Steel on Instagram. I didn't look anything into it. So like that's the reason why I love that it's Black History Month, and I'm glad that I was able to ask you this question because since we're talking about Steel, were you a fan of the movie that Shaq was in it still?
I have not seen it yet,
Oh,
but
wow.
I did. But I know. And here's the thing: I was a big Shaq fan growing up. So when I heard, and you know, I saw Kazam. I'm trying to look at all the other movies he's been in. I seen him in Steel. I was like, but that's a DC character. He's a superhero. And then a couple years later, I find out Shaq's a Superman fan. I'm like, this guy's a nerd.
Yeah.
I want this guy. No wonder I focus him so hard.
Yeah. No, but I was a Shaq fan growing up, still am. And when Steel came out, you know, of course, you only wanted to watch it because Shaq was in it. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, I didn't know that Steel was a DC superhero or anything like that until, you know, later on. I want to say it was when Superman the Animated Series came out. But now I want to ask you, because we're still talking about Steel, do you watch Superman and Lois? Because still, John Henry Irons is on Superman and Lois.
I have not seen it yet, but I have seen the Supergirl series, and I'm trying to get more into DC. I'm just one guy. I have so much time so much time to catch up on everything.
I feel you.
But yeah, man, I have to catch up with Superman and Lois. Now that you told me that Steel's in it, I had to see it. I want to say bring Steel to life.
Yeah, well, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy because we review Superman and Lois, and it was in season 1. I can't remember, like me and my co-host D, we were doing a review for some DC show, and he was like, I would really love to see John Henry Irons back in some sort of media because we only saw him in the movie with Shaq. And then I had watched Superman and Lois like right after we did that review, and then my jaw dropped because I'm just like, yo, like D just talked about him, and like the way he was introduced, I was just like, yo, this dude is badass, and I'm happy that we have Steel back on some form of media because I feel like he's a slept-on character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he is inspired by Superman himself, and you know his design is based on Superman. So I mean, you only see Steel as the side character, but now that he's in the series, everybody can see who this guy is and what he represents. You know, and I think a lot of younger people of color, they need to read up on Steel, saying, hey, this guy not only fights for the common man, but he fights for people like us.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's not just Killmonger. It's not just Black Panther. Look at this guy.
Hey, Black Lightning is another one. You know what I'm saying?
That's another slept-on character.
And I mean, the TV show, it was 4 seasons, and it started off really good, but then the 4th season was there. But still, I thought it was cool to see a person of color be a main character on a TV show and to get 4 seasons too. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was awesome. And I mean, just like Steel, protecting the streets, the inner city and whatnot, like the areas that the bigger superheroes like Superman and Batman, they really don't check. Well, I mean, well, Batman, he does do the inner city, but like Superman and Wonder Woman, like they're not in the hoods protecting the hood and stuff like that. And I think that was one cool thing on Invincible, where one of the guys that took Invincible to the hood, and he was just like, yeah, y'all are always protecting the city, but it's like, look at the hood. I mean, people still doing stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, everybody is so interested in the city lights. They're not going to go to the slums. They're not going to go to the ghetto. But knowing that there are heroes in there, in the hood, in the ghettos, fighting for us, fighting on the right side of the line, you know, that's something we need more of.
Oh, I 100% agree with you, man. So with that being said, thank you so much, Third Pharaoh, for joining me up here on Who's That Cosplayer, the first one for Black History Month. And before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Hey guys, my Instagram and Twitter accounts are at the Third Pharaoh. I have a Facebook account called The Symbiote Supreme. So if you love cosplay, if you love funny content, look me up and ask me about getting contacts and other cosplays, because I know where you can go to get it.
Nice. Hey, drop the TikTok too.
Gotcha, bro. And TikTok is at the Third Pharaoh as well. Currently at 40,000 strong, 40,000 loyal subjects who are just dying to see more content coming out of the woodworks.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, man. It was an honor having you up here. You know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this interview. Make sure that you check out some more of our interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reaction videos and reviews. Make sure that you stay safe. Happy Black History Month. Keep that pinky up. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.